Hi everybody, my name is Dolly and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm actually gonna talk about very sensitive topic about how I actually lost my baby through ectopic pregnancy. Let me start by saying I didn't know I was pregnant, right? Because I had my periods, normal periods, on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of April. So the 3rd was my last day. So as I was waiting for my next periods on May, they did come, but they were just spotting, They only spotted for 2 days and then they disappeared. So I was like, okay, what is going on? Like 2 days and it's just something small. They disappeared. After 2 days in between, they came back. Spotting again. So I was like, okay, this whole thing is confusing. I don't know what's going on, but then let me relax. And then I started having pains, like terrible pains, like on my left abdomen. They were so terrible. When the pain comes, it doesn't give you a sign. It just, like within a blink of an eye, it comes and it just puts you down. You can't even go to the bathroom. You can't do anything. If I can be honest with you, I was crawling to the bathroom. It was that bad. So it was 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. Remember? So I woke my fiance. I was like, this is too much. This is way too much. I cannot handle the pain anymore. And remember that moment, I didn't know what was happening to me. So 2 o'clock, we rushed to the hospital. He just took me to the hospital. When we got there, I explained to them that, okay, here is the thing. On the day of my periods, I started spotting for 2 days and then they disappeared. 2 days in between, the periods came back spotting. So I started spotting on the 4th of May, right through, non-stop. And they were like, that is not normal. The way you are giving us your history, it sounds like a miscarriage. I was like, a miscarriage? I'm not pregnant. Pregnant women, even though whether you know or you don't know, they're always in denial. I was like, I'm not pregnant. And then the doctor was like, how come? Like, what do you mean? I was like, remember, I've been trying to have a baby for 5 years now and it never happened. So when it comes to that department, I just gave up. He laughed. He was like, okay, no problem. What you're gonna do, we're gonna take your bloods. We're gonna, do everything just to make sure that you are not pregnant. Or if you are, then we know what to do, the next step. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. He was like, okay, go and pee so we can test your urine. I went to the bathroom. I peed. I came back. And while we were waiting for the results, okay, they were busy taking pressure and putting me drips and all that. I was like, yo, this thing is serious. Because honestly, I couldn't even sit up straight. Like, I could not sit up straight. I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, this thing is too much. Like, if I can compare the pain that I was having that day, it was exactly as the pain as of when you're in labor. Exactly the same thing. Okay. And then they came back with the results. Boom. The results are positive. I was like, whose results are these? Like, he was like, they're yours. I was like, so I'm pregnant, really? And he was like, yes, you are. I'm like, okay. Can you please do me a favor? Let's do the second test. Because, guys, I could not believe. I was like, okay, let's do the second test. I was like, no problem. He went did the second test, he came back. When he came back with the second doctor now. He was like, oh, okay, here are your results again. You are pregnant, ma'am. I was like, okay, all right. And I was excited. Do you understand? But now we have to go to the sauna and check if everything is okay, because this whole thing of you spotting right through the whole month is not normal. So they were like, okay, calm down. Like, we're going to explain this to you. What happens is that if you bleed or you spot right through the month and you are pregnant as well, there's a 50-50 chances of you might be miscarrying. Oh, it's fine. I was like, oh, okay. The gynecologist come, and then we went to the sauna room. I lie down there, and then he started doing his thing, and he was like, oh my God. I just looked at him. I was like, something is not right here, right? He said, look at the uterus. Your uterus is empty. Your pregnancy is outside. Mind you, I've never heard of ectopic pregnancy in my life. I've never heard of such. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was like, how is that possible? The pregnancy is supposed to be where it's supposed to be, right? He said, yeah, this is an ectopic. I was like, okay, what is ectopic? And then he tried to explain to me that when the baby is growing outside the uterus, in the tube or whatsoever, he explained everything. I was like, okay, can we, like, yo, I was like, can we reverse the baby? Can we push the baby to the uterus? Like, he said, no, it's not possible. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna admit you. Okay. My man was like, when? The doctor was like, now. He was like, yo. I didn't bring anything, like no blankets, no nothing. And in the hospital, they said they only allow visitors at 3 o'clock. It must only be one person. And then that one person mustn't take more than 15 minutes because of the whole pandemic thing. Okay, I was praying and praying and praying. I was like, okay, it is an ectopic, whatever it is. But I don't want to go through an operation. I don't want to go to the surgery. Remember, I have a child, and I got my child like through Caesar. So like, for them to cut me again, it's just something else. My nerves were like all over the place. So the following day, I think 2 gynecologists, they attended me because they wanted to be sure and confirm everything. The first one came, and then she was like, yes, it is, but it's something very small. It seems like it's something we can like take care of without even taking you to the surgery. Like, we give you pills and then it miscarries itself, like it dissolves itself. I was like, oh, I'll be very happy. But then he was like, we're gonna keep you so we can see if you have too much pains, if the bleeding is getting worse. Okay. Fortunately enough, I was just a normal person in that hospital, in that bed. I was like, I wasn't bleeding. There was no pain. I was just like talking to other patients. And then they decided, okay, you go home and then come back after 7 days so we can confirm what exactly is going on. 7 days, it was on a Monday. I will never, ever remember that day. It was on a Monday. I went back to the gynecologist clinic. And then the very same gynecologist that attended me was the one I was actually going to. So she was like, hi, you back? I was like, yeah, I'm back. And she was like, I hope you didn't go to the bathroom, because if you don't go to the bathroom and pee, it shows clearly if it's like, you know what I mean? Fortunately, I didn't. I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, okay, come. And then we went to the cinema room again. She checked me. And then she was like, what? I was like, what do you see? Show me. She actually turned the scan and she was like, look at your baby. My heart sank. Like, the baby is way too far from the uterus. The uterus is here, the baby is there. And when I saw the baby, I couldn't help myself. I cried. Like, I was like, why does this have to happen to me? Like, why me? Do you understand? I've been trying to have a baby for 5 years. Now when I finally get to a point of like, oh, I'm pregnant, now such is happening. As I'm talking to you guys, this is my 3rd week from the surgery, so I'm not even 100% healed. I'm just, I'm getting there. Okay, so she was like, you are not going home. We're admitting you right now because this baby is too big. Even the tube is ruptured. Can you believe? And then I was like, what? Yeah, she said, even your tube is ruptured. Like, that's the tricky part about ectopic pregnancy. They can keep checking you on the scan, sonar, but it will give them, like, it will confuse them. I was like, okay. When I was going to the hospital, I was just this lady walking by myself, everything. And then she called her colleague. She was like, doctor, this and that. There's a client, there's a patient coming upstairs. So I want you also to do your own thing. I got there. The second doctor now, her colleague, it was a man. And then he started like, okay, my sister, lie down. He's an African doctor. Okay, foreign doctor. Okay, my sister, lie down. I lie down. The minute he checked, he was like, oh my God, this is too much. This is too much. We can't even wait for the next day and be like, okay, we're gonna take you to the theater like tomorrow or whatsoever. It's too much. Like I told you, the tube is ruptured. So he was like, you are very, very strong. Because this thing, when the tube ruptures, like, it's life and death. Do you understand? You didn't even collapse. You're still here strong. You came here by yourself. I was like, no. The funny thing, after he was done with everything that he was doing with me, he was like, oh, okay, wipe your gel, the gel. So as I was trying to get up from the bed, now I couldn't get up. I was like, okay, why is it so painful now? I was like, okay, doctor, help me up. Like, when he was trying to touch my hand to help me get up, I couldn't. I started crying, like I was going to labor. I started crying. I couldn't even move my leg, especially the bottom part of my body. I couldn't move my leg. Like, everybody now was running up and down. Like, they went to the surgery. They went to the theater. They were like, stop everything that you are doing. We have someone there that needs to be attended as in right now. So now, the doctors, the sisters, nurses, they're busy with me, putting lines. I was having drips everywhere, like in my vagina. You know what it means, my vagina, so I cannot get up and go pee. My vagina and everything. Now I have to take off my dress and my underwear. It was a struggle. Now I couldn't take off my dress anymore. I couldn't take off my underwear. I couldn't do anything. All I did was to cry. Not just crying, I was screaming. I was like, no, why? They rushed me to the theater. We got there. They did their thing. One thing that makes me more emotional up to this day, I'm not gonna cry. When I was there, they put you to sleep, right? So they start doing their thing. Let me tell you, that injection, while I was sleeping and they were busy operating me, it just finished like there was no injection anymore in my body. I woke up in the middle of the surgery. I felt everything they were doing. I was like, no, no. Imagine even they even put the cube inside my mouth. So I'm trying to talk, like I can feel what you guys are doing. It's painful. They couldn't stop because, yo, it was worse. But then, you know, going through such things in life, you were like, okay, why does it have to be me? But then you feel like, I really, really need to share this. Maybe I'm not the only person who went through this painful thing. Maybe there's other people out there who went through the same. So if you guys went through what I went through, please don't forget to comment down below, and do not forget to share the like button and subscribe, because I've got more and more and more stories to come. Thank you guys. Bye.